If you're a video game fan, you're probably no stranger to seeing your most anticipated games get delayed. And unfortunately, across the past month or so, the industry has seen some of its most exciting titles drop the dreaded press release saying that things need to be pushed back. I'm Josh from What Culture Gaming, and these are video games that just got delayed. Oi, you! What are you buying? What are you selling? Well, I'm so pleased you asked, because if you want to stay safe online and browse freely, NordVPN is running an unbelievable deal at the minute that gets you up to 76% off subscriptions and 3 months free. Just scan the QR code in this video or click the link in the description below and it's all yours. First up, GTA 6. Look, there's no point making you wait for this one. Unless you've been living under a rock, just woken up from a really long nap, or drank yourself into a bout of amnesia, Disco Elysium style. Understandable, to be fair. You probably have already heard that GTA 6 just got its second delay, and it's a biggie. Originally set to launch in May 2026, the sequel has been pushed back 6 months to November, with the cries of Call of Duty developers screaming into a pillow being heard around the globe following the announcement. According to the CEO of publisher Take-Two, the reason is purely down to Rockstar needing more time to polish. Insiders, such as Insider Gaming, report that GTA 6 is currently feature complete, meaning that everything from the story to the missions to the cutscenes are all fully created, with the focus of the next year being to make sure that it's all as polished as it can be. Sadly, this time Rockstar didn't drop another trailer to cushion the blow, but here's hoping that we see more from the game sooner rather than later. Next up, Terminator 2D Dark Fate. When a game is delayed, it's usually down to the content itself not being ready. There are too many bugs, elements are unfinished, and it just needs more time to cook. Rarely, as is the case with Terminator 2D Dark Fate, is a game fully complete and then delayed due to distribution issues. But that's what happened with this tantalizing 2D, I mean, it's in the name after all, side-scrolling Terminator game. Originally slated to release on Halloween, the tie-in was then pushed back to November due to issues securing all of the material necessary to produce parts of the physical editions of the game. To avoid a staggered release where fans who pre-ordered physically would have to wait while people who bought the game digitally were just able to enjoy it, the devs pushed all releases back to November, and have just pushed it back another month further to December. Hopefully everything is in order to get the game out now, because it does look like a total blast. Terminator fans have been eating surprisingly well recently, at least when it comes to games, and this gorgeous retro throwback looks to be another solid gaming tie-in to the iconic series. Next up, Marvel 1943 Rise of Hydra. It's not looking great for Marvel 1943 Rise of Hydra. Revealed with a stunning trailer back in 2024, the period-set superhero game, which has players control Captain America and Black Panther, was positioned as the long-overdue return of veteran game designer Amy Hennig. The initial reveal looked downright incredible. While focused mostly on set dressing and characters rather than gameplay, the presentation was top-notch, facial animation tech was out of this world, and fans couldn't wait to see more. Unfortunately, we'd be waiting much longer than we initially anticipated. Initially intending to release at some point in 2025, the game was delayed until early 2026 in May. Then, on the same day as GTA 6 announced its delay, Marvel 1943 released a statement confirming that it would no longer be hitting its early 2026 release in order for the team to fully realize their vision. Unlike GTA 6, however, fans weren't given a new date to look forward to. Marvel 1943 has so much potential. Hennig deserves a win after so many false starts since leaving the Uncharted franchise, but considering publisher Skydance's spotty history, the lack of any new footage from the game since the reveal trailer, and the constant delays, it's easy to get pessimistic. Let's hope the extra time to cook though makes this one a banger. Next up, Pathologic 3. Everything about Pathologic 3 is a surprise. The sequel nobody ever expected was originally DLC for the second game, before pivoting to a full follow-up based around the franchise's core concept of arriving at a plague-infested town and having 12 days to try and find a cure. Of course, Pathologic fans know it's never that simple, as surreal encounters, meta-subversion, and politicking constantly throw a spanner in your actions, with the RPG being keen to punish you with dire consequences. While nowhere near as silent as the production of some of the other titles on this list, Pathologic 3 has quietly altered its initial launch window of 2025 to the next year. At the end of October, developers Ice Pick Lodge confirmed that the game had a new date, but thankfully we won't be waiting too long, as it now launches on January 9th, 2026. Even better, to make that wait even shorter, the developers dropped a demo allowing players a taste of the opening hours, alongside 3 new trailers. Ice Pick have gone from strength to strength with this franchise, and as the game was originally supposed to be DLC for Pathologic 2, they're even giving the full game for free to backers of that game's Kickstarter, which launched 12 years ago. That's how it's done. Next up, Kane. In a year full of standout indie games, Kane still managed to demand the spotlight. From the game breakers, the amazing developers behind the likes of Fury and Haven, their latest is a bit of a different beast. While retaining the striking, colourful cartoon aesthetic, this is an intentionally more grounded game where you control a character attempting to climb Mount Kami for the first time in human history. A little like Death Stranding or a less comedic Baby Steps, the thrill of the gameplay is all in the precision, planning, and execution of the climb itself. You have to chart your own way up the mountain, making sure every placement of the foot, every tool used, and every risk taken is pitch perfect. It was initially supposed to release on November 5th and was actually one of my most anticipated games of the year for what it's worth, but received a last-minute delay until sometime in the first quarter of 2026. If it reaches the same heights, pardon the pun, as the devs' previous releases, however, it'll be well worth the wait. Next up, Mouse PI for Hire. Mouse PI for Hire has remained one of the most stylish-looking games announced over the past couple of years. The FPS, as you can see from the footage, is designed in the style of 1930s black and white cartoons, with hand-drawn characters, environments, and weapons inspired by the era. You play as the titular Mouse, a private investigator named Jack Pepper, tasked with uncovering a city-wide plot and blowing up anyone in your way with a fistful of dynamite. Considering how painstakingly the devs are being with the art style, and how they no doubt will want to prove that they're not just going for style over substance, it's probably no surprise that the game has slipped from its 2025 launch window. Thankfully, again, we won't have to wait too long to get our paws on it, as the devs have confirmed that it'll now be releasing March 19th, 2026. Now, there have been a couple of titles that have attempted to replicate Cuphead's success in the years since that game used similar animation techniques to great applause, but only Mouse looks like it might have been able to reach those same heights. Next up, The Sinking City 2. The Sinking City was an underrated Lovecraftian detective game with one of the most evocative open worlds of the last generation. Its sequel was finally announced last year following lengthy legal issues between the game's publisher and developer, where it was revealed that the sequel had made the jump to Unreal Engine 5. Not only that, but this follow-up was switching gears in other ways. Rather than the puzzle-based investigations that defined the original's gameplay loop, The Sinking City 2 is being created as a pure third-person survival horror game. The focus now is on tight gunplay, resource management, and fighting off eldritch horrors, a framework that'll be right at home in this franchise's drowned, decrepit world. Though it didn't have a firm release date, it was penciled in to release at some point in 2025, but following a lengthy period of silence, the developers announced at the end of October that the game would no longer drop this year, but at some point in 2026. Understandably, the devs, based themselves in Kiev, pointed towards the difficulty of working during the ongoing war in Ukraine as the reason the game missed its initial target. Now, you can't really blame any developers for a game delay, but as far as reasons go, it's a miracle that The Sinking City 2 is even able to release at all. Next up, Darwin's paradox. Konami has had a pretty well-deserved resurgence recently, but while players expected their lineup of games to lean heavily on their best-known franchises like Metal Gear Solid and Silent Hill, Darwin's paradox is a bit of a, well, pardon the pun, it's a bit of a paradox. That's not a bad thing, of course. Developed by ZDT Studio, this is a charming puzzle platformer that puts you in the tentacles of an octopus attempting to get back to his home in the ocean. It looks like a charming project from top to bottom, with a huge amount of personality in the cartoonish animations, a strong sense of humor, and some pretty lush visuals. While far from the biggest game on this list, it looked to be shaping up well and was an intriguing pick from publisher Konami. Initially slated for a release before the end of the year, at the start of November it was announced that the game had been pushed back to sometime in 2026. So let me know in the comments what you think of these game delays, and are there any that I've missed off here. While you're here as well, if you want to watch more content like this, click one of the videos on screen right now.